You know, I really do feel like our world can be pretty magical at sometimes. And then at other times I feel like the why are we still here meme is just so fucking very accurately relevant to how I feel about a lot of things. We're gonna dump all of those aside and instead talk about something that I feel like any channel that is based on talking about shit has already done, which is either a stalking video or a catfish video. I guess I'll just tell my catfish story, which, haha, Holly, if you're watching, fuck you. That's right, I'm still not over, and I won't be. So when I was a teenager, I grew up around the tail end of the MySpace era, while Facebook was definitely around during this time. And it was still sort of kind of getting more popular, but also though at this time it was still exclusively for like college students, so kids in like my age demographic didn't use it. We still used MySpace. And I know that I'm aging myself like a cajillion years by even bringing up MySpace in the first place, but like MySpace was like where it was at, like getting HTML codes to make your profile look fucking sick. Nobody fucking understands me. The fucking emo cringe group that just fucking festered on that website. Yes, I was definitely a part. Well, being a part of it is a fucking stretch. I wanted to be a part of it, but I was too poor to afford any of the cool shit from Hot Topic. I can only get things from like Goodwill, and I did not pick out my things well from there. That's for damn sure. And it was also the real first place that teenagers like me used to be able to actually meet people who were not like local friends or people that you went to school with. And I could definitely say for a lot of other kids who are like me who really met friends better online than in real life, which is not a social skill that I am proud to have learned. And I also feel like with the combination of that and the fact that the whole catfish thing and knowing a lot of stuff about when to spot a catfish, because I feel like nowadays it's pretty easy to like catch a catfish to a degree because it's happened so much in the past. Now we know better, but back then it wasn't as common knowledge, especially with like my age group to an extent. And that's probably why this whole entire situation got probably as fucked up and as bad as it did. Also, I could just be completely fucking stupid and I missed every single red flag along the way. By the way, throughout the video we're gonna be putting a little tally mark right about here saying how many times I've missed obvious red flags that I should have gotten. So it's really great. So we're just gonna float back to the beginning of the story, starting from the year, oh wait, I don't want to really give away my age. I was in the 10th grade, okay? Let's just say that. So the core of the story really starts at a very unsupervised get-together, but I'm gonna call it a party because I don't want to keep saying get-together, but it was only like 10 people, and I ended up going there. It was from some other dude who was from some other school that my friends, I'm gonna call them my friends in the story, but later on down the line, they all as a collective group really came together to really fuck me over, but that's a different story that's not connected to this one currently, so we're gonna look past that for now. Anyways, this party, I guess you'd call it, considering that it was only fucking 10 people, and 5 of them were the people that I came with.
And the other people were somebody from a different school that somebody in our friend group knew. I don't fucking know.
However, the only really person here that kind of matters is 3 people, Holly, Neil, and Kyle. So obviously their names aren't really that. However, Holly, if you do find this, once again, I just want to say for a second time, fuck you. You are fucking crazy and I'm not letting this go, and you'll see why I'm so pissed at the end of the story, okay? Now, Holly out of this group of friends was the only really one that I was the closest to be completely honest. The rest of them I would consider more of peers, if anything. Me and Holly, however, I think we had known each other for about maybe a year, and I had a huge crush on her. She was like the first person that I like significantly like heavily attached myself to in a romantic crush kind of sort of way, and she felt the same way about me to an extent, but she was still closeted. Now me, I was never closeted for a reason that we're not going to go into just because it's a tangent, but whatever. I was never closeted with me being into girls or guys or anything. I just kind of was just like, okay, guess this is a thing. So but anyways, we had done like, kissing and like other stuff when I would spend the night at her house, and she was the real first person I actually felt like I connected to without being completely fucking bored of. She'd slip me notes in my locker, I draw her pictures, and we'd message each other on MySpace and make gushy messages. All that shit that makes me want to puke when I see other people do it, because years of rejection have made me bitter inside. Anyway, this whole situation sounds great, fun, oh wow, so cute, high school, meh, but it wasn't, because she actually really also liked this guy in our group called Neil, and he was just like emo, I don't fucking know how to describe him, emo guy who's just like, ooh, no one understands me. I mean, I was like that too, but God, bro, you live in you lived in Carmel, the nice part of county that I lived in. You had it good. What the fuck are you bitching about? I know everyone else's problems, but at the time I was like, bruh, So the way that Holly treated me is that when it was just me and her, she was like a completely different person. She was like all around me. She's like, oh my God, you're so cute. I love you. You know, she's just like feeding the empty hole
That my childhood left because my parents kind of ignored me for my brothers. That's a thread we're not going to fucking pull. I'm hanging on by a shoestring, just keeping all that together.
However, she really filled that void for me. And however, the second that we were in front of any groups of people or any people that wasn't just me and her, it would like, she treated me like I wasn't there. She treated me like I was the biggest fucking burden that anybody's ever fucking had. And she definitely made it kind of obvious. She like would go out of her way to not like stand next to me or like talk to me when a lot of other people were around. And then she also liked Neil, the guy in the group. And at the party and in general, she would really have it very heavily that I like Neil. I like him. I'm like, we get it, bitch. Fucking chill. You know, she was one of those fucking people. And I don't really know if she was doing it because she wanted to prove to herself that she was straight. I don't fucking know. Or if she just like really wanted him to like her back. I think it was an accumulation of more of the liking back, to be completely fucking honest, because damn, she would not stop talking about him sometimes. I don't know if she didn't know that like when she talked about him, like we were like intimate a lot, and we had like our messages were very not friend zone. It was beyond that for a while. So I don't know why she thought that I would encourage her when she would talk about him in an also intimate and like, ooh, I have such a big crush on him way. Like it didn't hurt me. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know why she did that. So anyways, while we were at the party, this was like one of kind of the only real like parties that I actually ever went to in high school, because my friend group was not big. I didn't keep friends long because I had small interest in people and just a bunch of other shit. But while we were at this party, she would constantly just try to be around him and like hang off of him and just be like, oh my God, you're so cute. She was just the whole night. She was being a simp. I'm sorry, I don't want to use that word, but she's being a simp for this dude, and this dude was like kind of not really interested in her. So anyways, I finally got tired of this, and about 5 hours of me having to watch, okay, it was like an hour, probably 30 minutes. I don't know, I have a small attention span. I was a fucking teenager. I went outside because I was like, I can't go home because I can't drive yet, and I didn't drive here. I drove with people. So like I can't go anywhere, but I don't want to stay in here, but I obviously want people to know I'm mad, so I'm just gonna storm outside and sit on the curb until nobody comes out and gets me, and then I'm gonna go back inside. That was my game plan, basically. So I went outside and sat on the curb, and when I heard someone walking up behind me, I'm like, oh my God, somebody's coming up to like fucking like give me attention because I'm fucking a 10th grader and I just want someone to notice me. And then I turned around and it was this guy, Kyle, who was kind of he was also kind of a simp for me, and he was kind of really annoying and weird because it would be very obvious he wanted to be around me, get my attention, and I just like was not fucking interested. And I turned around, and in the back of my mind I was like, oh fuck me, when I saw him. And he sat down with me trying to talk to me, and I was like, you're kind of weird. And I tried to kind of like ignore him, not really like engage, and he would ask me really weird questions like, oh, why are you out here? Are you cold? Oh, do you like Neil? And I'm like, no, I don't. And he was like, do you ever like think about having sex with him? And I'm like, I'm gonna go inside. So yeah, great night, A+ success. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. So next day rolls around. I get a friend request on MySpace of this super hot and dreamy emo girl, like top tier, my type. Still kind of my type, little less emo, little bit more punk. I checked out her profile and I'm like, oh my God, why is this girl adding me? Who is she? Does she go to my school? Is she single? You know, stupid shit like that. I checked out her profile. Her name was Emily. She was 15 and lives in Indiana. That's where I live. I didn't choose it. I was born here. And was online. So I'm like, ooh, mommy, sign me up. However, her profile was made yesterday, it said, which is going to be a red flag number 1 that I missed. However, with this all set aside, my desperateness of me being starved for attention, I added her back and we began talking. You know, it's like the simple shit, you know, hi, how are you? What are you up to? You know, it's just like basically the 4 lines that I still use for every Tinder conversation that I start. So as I start messaging her, Holly's also messaging me at the same time. Now you might be asking, did I care that I was kind of going behind Holly's back and talking to this other girl? And my answer would be, fucking no, bitch. And I still don't feel bad about it. Lock me down if you don't want me running around. Also, I was 14 and stupid. Also, you can't fucking be mad at me for smooching with this other girl when we're not exclusive. You don't want me to be exclusive with you because you're embarrassed to be around me. But then also, you want to fucking simp the hell out of Neil and suck his dick? Nah, bitch, fuck you. You didn't lock me down. I can do whatever I want. Anyways, a week goes by of me talking to Emily on MySpace and telling my friends about her. I was kind of bragging, annoyingly. It was the first kind of relationship that I felt like the first time somebody was like actually liking me back that I felt like that I deserved. So I definitely was shoving it in other people's faces to a very annoying point. Everyone was like fucking sick of it. I honestly know this now. At the time I was like, oh my god, I'm like so important, and oh my god, bitch, and no you weren't. And even though we had only been talking for like fucking 2 weeks at this point, it's basically like 5 months for like teenager time or whatever. Anyways, my friends were asking me to see pictures of her, and I was definitely, like I said, I was overly bragging, and I did it right in front of Holly, and I made sure to do it right in front of Holly. Was this fucking petty? Yeah, you bet your ass it fucking was. But damn, I felt so hurt. I'm like, I need to do this in front of her. Now looking back on it, obviously know that that's so fucking annoying and petty. Obviously, and making sure that she could fucking hear me. I was still salty about the fact that she was all over fucking Neil's dick and wanted him so bad, even though he didn't like her and I was the one that liked her more. You bet your ass I was fucking petty and salty. But alas, the honeymoon stage never lasts for long because I slowly but surely starting to get a little frustrated with Emily. I've always been the kind of person where I crave a physical relationship. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean like being able to be with somebody in real life. Even though a lot of the relationships and the romantic things that I've had been online, that was intentional. It just ends up usually ending up like that. But it's definitely not something that I can stay in for a prolonged period of time because I need somebody to be there to see in real life, to hold their hand, to do other things with, to cuddle, to talk, all that stuff. It's something that I need, and I don't do good in a relationship without. So at this point in me knowing her, I was trying to set up things to either see her in real life or talk to her on the phone, both of which, obviously, you could tell from the story, fell through. Anyways, I tried to meet up with her and she would always make excuses, and I would try to like schedule phone calls with her, and it's just like when it came to the time when the phone call needed to happen, which was usually always at night, she would just stop messaging me, and the next day she'd be like, oh, like I fell asleep, and that's a ginormous like red flag, but like whatever, I'm stupid. And I think she could start to sense that I was getting really frustrated and I was starting to pull away from her because I wasn't getting this physical attention that I needed from her, and I was seeing it as a kind of dead end relationship because if I can't be with her in real life, I can't function in that relationship. So she started to kind of feed me thinking, oh, maybe a little bit more by us making plans to go see each other in real life. However, just like at the last second, me about to leave, she's like, oh, I have to cancel because of XYZ all the time. So yeah, this is a giant red flag number 2. Just gonna put it up there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yep. Let's just put it right there. Yeah. Red flag number 2. Now, at the same time, while this was all happening, another plot line was also happening because over the months that I had been talking to Emily and trying to get all this stuff and see her in real life, my relationship with Holly was quickly deteriorating. I stopped having interest in talking to her. I stopped having interest in being around her because obviously she was hiding me and that was making me feel shitty versus this other person who's feeding my need for attention. Obviously, I'm going to be more fixated on this new chick. So I would stop initiating conversations with her. And the only time that like Holly would really talk to me is when she would be asking weird questions about Emily. Like, oh, like what did Emily say? Oh, like maybe she meant this, blah, blah, blah. Like weirdly talking kind of for her, which is red flag number 3. Fast forward a month or so, and another kind of get together party thing, whatever happens again with the same groups of people. However, there's like 2 other people there, but nobody cares. They're not fucking important, so who cares? While there, I honestly didn't want to bring up Emily again because I could tell that my own group of people were tired of fucking hearing about her, but I wanted this new group of people to hear about her because I needed to fuel my validation for having a relationship. But like I said before, I didn't want to really bring it up again because I knew that my current friend group was tired of hearing about it until that Kyle guy, obviously fucking not interested in him, came up to me and was trying to talk to me, asking me weird fucking questions again, and I literally told him, fuck off, I'm dating somebody. And this is where the story gets juicy. The other group kind of was starting to overhear us because I was being loud. Wow, shocker. It seems to be my default setting for some reason. So then he started asking me questions, did she go to my school? No, did he go to my school? Blah, blah. And I told him that her name was Emily. She lived in southern Indiana, and we'd been dating for 3 months. Yes, I lied about that because I wanted to seem like I was cooler. Holly got pissy about this and shouted back at me saying that Emily and I were not dating. Red flag number 4. How the fuck do you even know that? I was a little weirded out by this because why the fuck would she know that? And also, why the fuck would she care? But at this time, I just thought that she was jealous, to be completely honest. So we started getting into this heated argument amongst a group of super uncomfortable teenagers with this whole situation, not knowing exactly what to say or what to do while 2 people are arguing obviously about a very personal to them situation, and you're just kind of there and you don't really know what to do. Anyways, we started yelling back and forth at each other. Me yelling, how would you know that if we were dating or not? Her yelling back, you never told me, and why would she even date you when she's fucking out of your league? Me getting really fucking personal and deep, saying, at least someone's not scared to say that they like me, unlike you being a fucking huge pussy. Can't even tell people that we're friends without acting like it's a huge burden. Also, you're just pissy because Neil doesn't even fucking like you, and Emily loves me. Then she fires back with, Emily and you can't be dating because me and Emily are dating. I'm sorry. What? Just if things couldn't get worse, they did, because why not, right? And that's when people started laughing at me and dissing on me, being like, ooh, fucking showed her, ha ha ha, she's not even. And I ran away crying, and I ran back into the woods behind the dude's house that we were at. I think his name was Dan, whatever, doesn't fucking matter. I was furiously fucking texting Emily, asking her what the fuck is going on, is this true, other shit like that. Mind you, when me and Emily had been talking the past month, she never even mentioned Holly, knowing her, and besides me talking about Holly, she never ever let on that she had any association or she even fucking knew her. Red flag number 5, by the fucking way. And our conversations were very gushy and super heavily intimate, so it was obvious that she knew that we were intimate with one another, between our messages. So yeah, I was super confused. I was super fucking hurt. And haha, if it wasn't bad enough, it started to rain because why fucking not? Oh, you think I'm done? You think I'm done with could it get any worse? No, bitch. It can, and it did. I finally got a message back from Emily saying, I thought you knew. Oh! She went on to say, we've been dating for months. Her and Holly have been dating for months. And Holly wanted Emily to pretend that Emily liked me so I would stop being so aggressive towards her. Mind you, when we were alone and intimate, she was the one that pounced on me 95% of the time. She was a top. She was aggressive to me. I have bite marks to prove it. I felt hurt. I felt like shit. I felt betrayed, lied to. I also felt disgusted, engrossed, unwanted, and I felt empty and worthless. Loved my teens. 10 out of 10 would never fucking recommend. By this time of the night, Holly finally called me, and I was so unbelievable. Despite the fuckery she put me through, I felt so fucking bottom of the barrel. Nobody loves me. I need someone to just give me any form of validation. I don't even care at this point. And she called me, and like a fucking 6-year-old child, I asked her to come out into the woods and to get me because I needed her, and I was just sobbing, and it was just fucking pathetic and stupid. And she did. She came out and she got me, and she had her friend and her take us home, and we went back to her house where we spent the night and did R-rated things I'm not talking about because I felt like shit, and I wanted to fill a void with somebody. So not like that though, pervert. Now we're going to be getting to the end of the story where the next morning she went out down the street to the donut shop that was like a couple buildings down or whatever from where she lived to get breakfast while I laid in bed, somewhat, nay, completely fucking massively drained from the giant clusterfuck of emotional roller coaster that I ended up going through last night, and my brain was ultimately fried. I was fucking so goddamn numb. However, at this point, I still kind of tried to manage to operate enough to be able to get my phone because At this point, I still wanted an answer from Emily because I'm fucking stupid. So I took my phone and I messaged her. Okay, so I have to explain something really quick to kind of understand exactly what happened next. It's about MySpace. So MySpace back in the day, they didn't really have like an app for it at the time, and even if they did, the phones that most people in my age group had, they weren't super fancy phones, so we couldn't even have those apps anyway to begin with. So there was like a feature on your MySpace where you could like hook up your phone number to your MySpace, and if you were messaged, like a DM message or whatever, it would come up as a text message on your phone or whatever. So with this being said, moving on, I went to go message Emily back, trying to get a reply out of her, trying to talk something about her because I still loved her at this point. And I typed my message and I sent it. And then Holly's phone, which to this day, stupid bitch, don't understand why she left it at home. She's so fucking stupid. Holly's phone vibrates. And I'm like, how coincidental. How coincidental. I didn't fucking see it because I'm stupid. So I brushed it off and I messaged Emily again. Holly's phone goes off again. And I'm like, Then I spammed Emily. And then Holly's phone gets spammed. Then finally, after 7 missed red flags, my peanut-sized IQ finally managed to jam all the pieces together, and I looked over to Holly's phone and tried to open it, but it was password protected, so I messaged Emily again and waited, and sure enough, the message notification came up on Holly's lock screen, showing part of my message that I had sent to Emily. As much as I was mad, I was more confused. But I never really got an explanation from her because when she got back, I just kind of left and I never really talked to her again. So, haha.
Psych. My reaction was a little bit more like,
Yo, bitch! The fuck are these? I think the best part of this whole story is the explanation that she ended up giving me. The whole like long tier villainous end of the Scooby-Doo why did you do it kind of explanation. It's just peak. I've never met somebody who's so crazy as this. However, do you want to hear her full explanation on why she pulled off this entire puppeteer debacle? Well, because she wanted me to fall out of love with her, love somebody else, aka Emily, then fall back in love with her. Let me explain. Her plan from the beginning was to do what I had said, and then Emily cheating on me, and then having me run back to her, being Holly, so I would be broken from this whole entire thing, and I would fall even more deeper in love with her. Oh, by the way, she also still did not want to be public in any way, because she didn't want to be associated with me, because she was embarrassed of me, because nobody else liked me. She wasn't embarrassed of me because of stuff that I did. She was embarrassed because other people just didn't like me for whatever reason. So yeah, that was her whole explanation to why she sent me through 2 months of hell and had me completely embarrass myself in front of an entire group of people that I didn't know. So until next time, fuck you, Holly, and suck my balls.
So I would like to take a couple of moments here to just graciously give thanks to a couple of people who've supported me on this little niche website. I don't know if you've heard, it's called Patreon. It's kind of like a little website where I do jack shit and get paid, motherfuckers. What? Alright, all kidding aside, yes, I have finally started a Patreon. So far, I only have one tier. It's called Rookie Crew, and with it, you get early access to videos, you get shoutouts to the end of my videos. You also get to participate in polls where I ask you guys what kind of videos to do next, so on and so forth. I might be adding more tiers in the future with higher rewards. I just have to get up to the point where I have the time to think of stuff that I want to do with that. Until now, that's what's on there. So I would like to thank my 5 Patreons, Slavin, Michelle, Foxtrotten, Toria, and RPG Artist. Thanks guys for supporting me. I don't know what to do now. Go light firecrackers in the street. I don't know.